Beyond basic headshots is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Coffee Break. Now, our topic today is taking headshots to the next level or going beyond basic headshots. There are so many different variations of what a headshot could be. A couple examples I'm going to show you here are more of the traditional type headshots that, let's say, somebody wants for a Facebook profile or for, let's say, LinkedIn profile and so on. All right, so these, I'm going to start with just simple ones. Typically, straight on portraits like this is fine. If you want to get a little more creative, I like to add a little Dutch tilt to my images, just give that like slight angles to it, just to make it a little more creative and a little different. And that's just an example. So these are just simple, basic headshots. Now, where it goes beyond is when you start to get into a theme or the reason you're taking the headshot. And in this case, this right here is from author Jamie Engel. All right. So what the publisher wanted was, we'll do this right here, the back of her book right here. You'll see right here, they wanted a new headshot for the back of the book. Now, it could be a small one. It could be a large one that takes up the entire book. Whatever it is, we have to give the person lots of options. So in this case right here, the subject, Jamie, asked, or the publisher asked the subject, Jamie, to get a simple headshot, but they wanted it to be a little unique to her. So, well, since she's an author and she writes children's books, we ended up going to a playground. The problem was I thought the playground would be beautiful in the background. It was way too distracting. So instead of keeping the background in focus, we threw it out of focus. So let me walk you through how I did the editing for this. In fact, before I do the editing, let me just show you where we started from. So we started up here and just started experimenting on what she's looking for to get her to feel comfortable. Typically, the first 5 to 6 images are going to be throwaway shots because she's not a professional model. She's not used to being in front of a camera. So to get some of these shots like this, she wasn't comfortable until right about here. Now she started feeling comfortable. Let's look at the timestamp. So that's 10:22. We started the first shot at 10:21. So within a little over a minute, she started getting more comfortable with the shot. And as a photographer, I was able just to look at the scene and think, what can we add to this to make it, to show her personality, to show it that this was that shot had purpose. And by adding her book to the scene, and again, since she works with children, she's dressed a lot more casual than she normally would be. So this is what we settled on. And then the rest of these shots right here, honestly, is just a matter of just trying to get the right angle, the right pose. And from here, it doesn't matter which, or going all the way through, we can decide which ones of these that she loves. Now, keep in mind, we said we started at 10:21. Well, here we are at 10:23. So a little over 2 minutes now, we ended this set. And then we moved on to another set. These ones, I just wasn't feeling it. And then we moved on to a third set. So notice how we're giving different options here. So in my mind, if they decided to only use just a headshot, not with a book and not with anything else, these shots here is a beautiful representation of Jamie. All right, so that's what I'm talking about, going beyond the traditional photos, the traditional headshots that are shot in a studio. We're trying to bring out the purpose of this shoot. And here, again, her in a park, looks great for the back of the book. Well, let me go back up here, and we're going to start with this image here that I edited. Now, editing a headshot that's meant for a purpose is going to be different. So I'm not going to edit this image here, this headshot, the same way I would edit a portrait one in the studio. If the studio one looks more formal, the editing is going to be totally different. If it's for glamour or for a reference for the family, that's going to be different than the business one here. The editing has to reflect that. All right, so here we are, and I'm going to take you through each of my steps. Here's the original image, this here, and I purposely shot it wide. Now, the reason for that, and not filling the frame, is what if the publisher wanted a tighter cropped, or if they wanted more headroom, or if they want a full body? This gives them lots of options. And because Luminar is a non-destructive image editing program, I'm able to experiment and give them many choices. So I just quickly used a template called Flawless, which is part of our Luminar set. That set the base, or the tools that I wanted to use, the portrait tools and the enhancing tools. Then from here, I'll go through what I decided to do with the lighting tool is I wanted to color balance this a little bit better. So from here, with the lighting tool, let's come up here. Think of this as your developing tool. I set the profile, the camera profile, and then I set the white balance based on her eye. By doing that, look at the difference before and after. It's getting me in the ballpark of color correcting. Now, popped a little color harmony in there to bring out the brilliance of the image, and then the warmth of the image. Now, looking over it, this is where I decided to do the crop. Typically, I do the crop in the very beginning, and I should have stuck with that. However, I waited till the middle of the edit. But in this particular case, if I were to crop in the beginning, I can always go back and re-edit that crop, but I know it's a good starting point. So I love where this is at. The colors are just not working for me. This is where we use the light tool, and we adjust the tint to bring back, there we are, the color that I'm looking for. Now, let me get back up here to the top. Here's before, and here's after. This is what we ended up sending to the publisher, and this is what they wanted. Now, here's a don't do. Because I talked about this, I don't want to make this into a glamour shot, and the glow tool will do an amazing job at that. So if I apply the glow tool, and I make everything soft and blurry, I mean, that looks really nice, but that's not what the publisher wanted. So this right here, I think is a great Facebook photo. This is something that she could put on Facebook, and it's going to be properly received. On the back of the book, it's a little too much. It looks a little too more glamorous, and that's not what we're going for. So here's the original image, and then this is how we finish it off. So the most important part about photographing beyond a basic headshot is making sure that the edits correlate properly with what you're trying to portray in the images. So if the image is formal, make sure you edit it in with formal tones. In this case here, it was more playful. We're at a park, but I still didn't want to go overboard and make it a glamour type look. We stopped before the glow, let the publisher have it. They love that. Then for her personal use, that's where we could add the glow. All right? So guys, I hope that helps. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up. If you have suggestions for future coffee breaks, again, leave those in the comments. If you decide to give us a thumb down for whatever reason, that's fine. But please leave a comment and tell us why, so we can make these coffee breaks so much better for you. All right? Guys, thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.